Hey y'all, what's going on? Hunter out here, rangehot.com. Today I'm doing a video about the 1911. Imagine that. But this one I'm doing is I'm going to talk about how the 1911 is its own toolbox. And what I mean by that is, if you have a mil-spec built 1911, that 1911 style pistol rather, that doesn't have any of the bullshit lawyer parts in them, then you can use the tools, you can use the parts of the gun as tools to help take it down. And I'm actually going to do a demo demonstrating that. And we're also going to talk about something kind of cool as it relates to the M16 AR-15 firing pin in the video. So this ought to be pretty good, y'all. Unfortunately, the only real bad drawback to this is Chad's going to have to move the camera over my shoulder so you can see what I'm doing to the gun. She's not going to be able to look at me most of the time. And again, I'm sorry, but if you want to just screen grab this and then just put that in the corner, that way you've got a good reference. Anyway, okay, Maestro, if you will, first thing we'll do is we'll field strip it. Y'all know how to field strip the gun. Ensure it's clear. Oh, it's clear. Recoil spring plug. Come on, sugar. Barrel bushing. Slide stop. Alright, recoil spring and the plunger and then the barrel. So the first tool that I need to get after is this firing pin. But I need to be able to depress that firing pin to get it out of when the firing pin stops. So the tool that I'm going to use for that is this safety. Now, this is an ambi-safety gun, but it doesn't matter. What you need to be very particular about is when you're taking this thumb safety off, you got to watch that plunger. So you know how to take the thumb safety off of 1911. You cock the hammer, you just kind of wiggle it out, and it's going to come out. There we go. See, that plunger's trying to get away right now. Okay. So now I got my thumb safety. Got the lug here. I can use that lug to depress the firing pin. There's the other side. And you're going to want to put your thumb over that firing pin so it don't go shooting across the room. Now I've got my punch. While you're right here, you can get your extractor out. You can use this just to kind of pry a little bit. Don't want to bend your firing pin, but they're pretty tough. I say that. Okay. Now I am going to have to cheat on this a little bit. I know y'all are going to roll your eyes, but oddly enough, my only 45 without the lawyer parts is a specialist. This technique that I'm using, if you've got any guns with firing pin stops or whatever, it's not going to work. But the specialist has got an extended mag well. And to access that, I need to get to access the mainspring housing, I'm going to have to take these stocks off. Normally, as you can see on this little ECO, without an extended mag well, you can get right to the mainspring housing pin, which is here. But I can't do that with this gun. So I know I said the 1911 is its own toolbox, and it is, but this is a little bit different case. So I am going to have to use a screwdriver to take the stocks off. Now there is a flat-headed screwdriver in this gun. It's the sear spring. But here again, while everybody's going to give me hell about, well, you're using a tool. Yeah, with the mainspring housing extended like that, it makes it a little trickier. Alright. So, got to drive that out. If you do have a pins out, little box, it makes things a little easier. So you got your punch, firing pin, and just take your slide as a little hammer. take the tension off the hammer strut, makes it a little easier. There we go. Alright, she comes out. Mainspring housing pin. Now these Dan Wesson Specialists with the ambi safety, they do have a little sleeve right in here that you can use the firing pin as a punch to push out. There it is. Okay, that is an extra part, not on your standard type gun. Grip safety's off. So now back to my punch. I'm gonna flip the gun over. I'm gonna push out the hammer pin and the sear pin, and then pull out the sear spring, and the sear disconnect and hammer and all that should fall out of the gun. Now bear in mind, there's that little flat-headed screwdriver I was telling you about, and you can use that to remove the stock screws. Once again, on a standard 1911 style gun, you can access the mainspring housing pin without having to remove the stocks. But y'all also hear me fuss about slotted stock screws, flathead stock screws versus those. You see, this gun's got Allen head stock screws. I can't remove them with any tools on the gun, so just bear that in mind. Alright, but we need that flathead screwdriver now to get the magazine catch out. You got that little screw in there, you know, you kind of halfway push it, turn it, mag catch comes out, trigger comes out. Then if you want to further disassemble the magazine catch, you can still use your little flat screwdriver. You got to be careful because that's all under spring tension. There's my kitty cat, she's hungry. I'll feed her in a little bit. But unless you're cleaning it or fixing something, you don't really need to ever take that apart. So I'm gonna just put her back together. Alright, so that is 1911 detail stripped using its own parts. Now something else I want to point out, you look at the hammer strut. It's also machined into a punch. Now something else that's kind of interesting, I got an AR-15 bolt carrier group here, that firing pin. When Eugene Stoner designed the M16 AR-15, he was marketing it to the military, or wanted to, and the current sidearm at the time was the 1911 A1. So if you notice, there's, on all AR-15 firing pins I've ever seen, there's two different radiuses. Well, that first radius is the exact same size as your sear pin, and that second radius is the exact same size as your hammer pin. So your AR-15 firing pin is actually an armorer's tool, and that is actually by design. You can use it to punch pins out, you can use it as a slave pin to line stuff up, whatever. So even if you don't have an AR-15 and you got a couple 1911s laying around, probably be a good idea to have a couple armorer's tools. So anyway, that's disassembled. Now we'll put it back together. Still just using the tools that come with the gun. Triggers in. Use this my flathead screwdriver again. Okay, and that's in, working like it's supposed to. Now you want to put your sear and disconnector in as a assembly. And if you look into right in there, here I'll point it out with a firing pin. There's the hole the disconnector sticks up through to engage the rail here. So what I like to do is I like to just kind of hold this thing upside down. I don't know how well y'all can see. I got Chad, my cameraman, and just kind of, yeah, I'm all thumbs tonight. Just kind of drop that in and let it sit. And then you can either use the firing pin to line that up, or you can, if you want to use your armorer's tool, know, you can also use that as a slave pin, whatever you decide to do. But we'll keep with the theme of the video here, and okay, cool. That's, for me, that's probably one of the more aggravating aspects of putting this gun back together. But having a little slave pin like that, man, surely makes the job a lot easier. So then you got to get your hammer in. And once again, it's a whole lot easier to line up because it's a bigger hole. Now, this being an ambidextrous safety on this gun, the hammer pin has to go in a specific way. Oh, you know what? It goes in. Don't want to forget about that sleeve. All right. So now that's in. Sear spring. And you want to make sure that your flat-headed screwdriver part, everything is laid in there nice and pretty. You see how we're doing there? And then your mainspring housing. Now, if you wanted to further disassemble your mainspring housing, that's where the punch on the hammer strut comes into place. You can actually use that to depress the mainspring and pull the little, there's a little bitty pin right here in the side. But y'all, that's a bear, so I'm not going to fool with it. Now this, you kind of got to line up a couple different things. So what I like to do is, once I've got the mainspring going in there like that, you watch it start to collapse that sear spring. And I like to get it pretty close. And then you drop that strut. Hammer strut's got to fall right into the mainspring. And you just want to just get it caught. And then you got your thumb safety. Oh, thumb safety. Grip safety. So once that's in place, now I just use that little sleeve, but you can slave pin it with the firing pin and then push that in place and get that started. And then once again, I got this wonderful pins out thing and I ain't even using it, y'all. Alright, mainspring pin is in. So understand, I know, look, I'm using the slide as a hammer, I'm using the firing pin, and people are going, but damn, you got punches and all that. You do. This is a field expedient. You know, I got to get my damn gun apart. I don't have any tools, but you do. That's the point I'm trying to make. Alright, so plunger. So we don't want to put the grip safety in yet because we got to get that firing pin back in, and we're going to need that for that. So let's go ahead and get all that worked out. So when I'm putting this back together, I like to put my extractor in, and you want to get that lined up pretty good. You can use the contour of the back of the slide to kind of get that lined up. And then you just watch as the groove cut into the extractor lines up with the groove cut for the firing pin stop. Then what I'll do is I'll dry fit that firing pin stop. And you may need to adjust that extractor a little bit in or out. There you go. So now when I'm trying to get that firing pin lined up, I ain't worried about that extractor clocking or not acting right. Of course, now these Dan Wessons are fit so well that normally something like that you wouldn't have an issue with, but some of the older guns or some of the guns maybe not fit so well, you could have such an issue. Now this is a little bit of a pain in the ass. You can use your, if I'm not mistaken, you can use your slide stop, but I like to use the thumb safety. Somebody's out there saying, you bent your damn firing pin. But I didn't. Let me get a little bit of light right here. If you stand the slide up like this, it kind of, I think it's a little bit easier to do. Alright. Go on home. So, when you're lining that firing pin up, ideally, just stand the slide up like that, and it kind of, gravity helps you. I'm trying to do it on the side so y'all can see a little bit better, but evidently that's not a good way to do it. Alright, so, all we got left here is, we're going to put the grip safety in. Damn, thumb safety. It's been a long day, y'all. So you've got, let me get this side. Slid in here and catch on that. So you can use your barrel bushing to depress the plunger. There she went. Yep. Alright, sorry about that, y'all. I kind of got all twisted up. There's the link right there. When you're putting this back together, make sure your little link's hanging down. Alright, so there you go. The 1911 is its own toolbox. This is a Series 80 or you got a extended magazine well. But y'all get the gist of it. So I'm going to put this gun back together, and I hope you know what the pencil test is. Does everybody know what the pencil test is? To make sure your function check. You know what, it might not be a bad idea to talk about that real quick. First I've got to go find a pencil. Put these back on. And you want to find a pencil with an eraser. One moment. Alright, so this is a pencil test, y'all. Anytime you take your gun apart, put it back together, do anything to it, you want to make sure it's working like it's supposed to. However, you have to make damn sure the gun is clear. No magazine, no ammo in it whatsoever. Pencil, eraser, down the barrel. When you pull the trigger, the pencil goes away. So all that's letting you know is the firing pin is moving through the breech face, and if it's enough force to shoot that pencil across the room, you know it's enough force to bust a cap. Hammer cock. So what you want to do is, A, make sure the hammer falls. B, engage the safety, engage the grip safety, and make sure it doesn't fall, and then sweep the safety off and make sure the hammer stays in place. And the last thing you want to do is take your hand off the grip safety and try to work the trigger. And so what you're doing is you're testing the grip safety, you're testing your safety, and you're testing the trigger and the hammer and all that when you put that together. So you don't want to put the gun back together and then be carrying it and God forbid something happen, click, no bang, damn, I forgot a part. So always, anytime you maintain your gun, safety check them, pencil test them. That way you know everything's in operational order. Ideally, when you get done, step out in the yard and, you know, run a few through it, but that's not always feasible. So anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe. Let me know what you think. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, the whole 9 yards. Got any comments, criticisms? I'm sure there's going to be a lot of them. Just jump down in the comments below. Let me know what you think, and you can always jump over to rangehot.com, and I got a bunch of articles about 1911 and that sort of stuff. So if you got any ideas for any other videos you might want to see, let me know. Hey, y'all take care of yourself, be safe, and look forward to seeing you at the range.